Hey guys, what's up? Alicia Cross here, and if we have not met yet, I am a yoga instructor, a personal trainer, and a wellness coach, and I've been helping clients just like you for over 18 years reach your goals, get healthy, feel better, look better. And today I'm talking to you about 5 steps you can use to solve any problem. And this is, you can remember this with the acronym O.S.C.A.R, the O.S.C.A.R method, and this is what I use in my wellness coaching session, so you can get a feel for how that works, and you can also use this to deal with anything that you are trying to improve or change in your life right now. So if you have found me live, say hi, give me a wave so I know you're here. And if you're watching live or watching the replay later, thank you for being here. And anytime you have a question or a comment, let's keep this conversation going. Just post it here. I'd love to chat more with you about this. So first of all, I'm going to plug in my phone because I realized I didn't do that. Ooh. Hold, please. Okay, so many things to remember. Okay, so welcome back. So the O.S.C.A.R method. Okay, so this is based on the way that I do my wellness coaching sessions with my clients. You can, like I said, use this for any situation you have in your life, because really the whole premise is that you are the expert on your life. Coaching is not me telling you what to do. It's helping you to find the best solution and hold you accountable. So I'm not here to tell you what to do as a coach. This is why you can use this framework on your own. You are the expert in your life. It doesn't make any sense if I tell you something that's not applicable to your life. My life is not your life. I do not have your current situation. I do not have your past experiences. I do not have your same capabilities or mindsets. I can't tell you what to do. So that is why you can use this framework on your own right now for any problem that you want to work on in your life. So the first step, so it's O.S.C.A.R, that's the acronym, O.S.C.A.R. Yes, you can sing a little song if you want to. So outcome, outcome. So that is the goal. So what are the long-term and the short-term and even the stretch goals that you want to accomplish? So this is really about defining the problem. So what is it? What is it that you want to change, improve, fix, or reverse? So some things that I hear are, I don't have any energy, tired all the time, get sick all the time, gained 30 pounds since I retired, noticing belly fat, not as easy to lose weight. Those are basically the kind of things that I hear. But this could apply to outside of health and fitness as well. Just whatever it is that you are dealing with, you could apply this same framework to. So what is the problem? Get really specific about it. Talk about what it is, what it looks like right now, and what are the changes that you want to make. And again, look at short-term goals, long-term goals, stretch goals. You can also look at what is called process and performance goals. So performance, that would be the outcome. So that's, you want to lose 10 pounds. Process could be, I want to work out 3 days a week. So you can have process and performance goals. So process are the steps. Performance is that end result that you want. And the steps are going to get you to the end result, but it's helpful to have both of those so that you can stay encouraged and stay motivated and keep going. It's really important to have specific and measurable goals. So a lot of times I hear, from clients, I want to tone up. So that is a great starting point for us to start this conversation, but that's not a goal. You need to dig a little bit deeper what that means. You want to maybe lose a couple inches off your waistline. You can use the waist to hip ratio for that. So get it into a healthy range if it's currently not. You could use body fat. When we take body fat, we look at what are the norms for your age range. So you could use the body fat percentage to set a goal to get into the normal range, the healthy range. You could use weight. Again, it'd have to be specific. You could use size of the clothes that you're in right now. So it's got to be something that is specific and measurable so that you know when you have succeeded. Toning up is not a goal. That's your jumping off point, but then you have to establish a goal from there. Let's see what else. Oh, there's a really cool process you can use called a future testimonial. So you write your testimonial as if you're writing 6 months or a year in the future, and you're writing about how successful this process was for you. And a good testimonial starts with the word I. So a testimonial is not raving about your coach or your trainer. A testimonial is you and your experience. It's your testimonial. I felt this, I achieved this, I overcome this. So a lot of those sentences that start with the word I. And you can write that future testimonial as if you've followed this program, you followed this plan, and what it did for you and how it worked for you 6 months or 1 year in the future. So that's a really fun technique you can use. Really sit down with your journal and write that testimonial from your future self 6 months or 1 year in advance. So that is the first step, identifying that problem. Okay, the second step in O.S.C.A.R is situation, S for situation. So why is this a problem? Why is it a big deal to you that you gained 30 pounds since you retired? Why is it a problem that you have more fat around your midsection? Why is it a problem that you're tired all the time? Why is it a problem that you get sick all the time? So now you have to really peel back those layers. If you've heard the saying, ask why 5 times, this is what you really need to do here. Why? Because my clothes don't fit. Why is that a problem? Well, because I don't like the way I look. Why? I don't feel confident. This is not the way I want to look. I don't feel attractive. You have to dig down and why is this the problem? Imagine that an alien is listening to this and doesn't understand why it's a problem that you have belly fat, or why you gained weight, or why you're on some medication that you want to get off of, or you want to avoid being on a medication, that your knees hurt, or you can't keep up with your kids or your grandkids, or whatever you've identified as the thing you want to change. Why is that a problem in your life? You have to get really emotional. Look at the people that are affected by this. I just talked about in my motivation video this week that you are probably really good at coming through and showing up for everybody else. But when it comes to showing up for yourself and taking care of your health, that is the thing that you let go of. And you need to start seeing how your health is impacting other people. You can't show up for all those people that are counting on you, your boss, your client, your spouse, your partner, your kids. You can't show up for them if you are sick and tired and unhappy. So if you feel really obliged to other people, and that's your motivation, your accountability is other people in your life, you've got to start seeing how your health and your physical, mental, emotional well-being impacts those other people. So that's what you want to write about in this step. Get out that journal. Talk about how this is affecting your relationships, your business, your ability to show up for people. This is where it's really good to know your values. What is your value? What are those primary core values? There's only going to be a couple, 3 or 4. Is it family? Is it your job? Is it your, volunteering? Know that you need to show up at your very best for all these things that you value in your life. So how are these problems affecting the things that matter to you, the people and things that are most important to your life? So get really deep. This is not something you have to share. If you are working with me, it might be helpful to let me in on some of these things so I can help to better direct you and keep you accountable. But how does this affect the things that matter? Okay, so that's the first 2 steps. Third, C, choices. So this is where you brainstorm on all possible solutions, ideas, alternatives, and you have to really give yourself permission to think outside of the box. So one of my clients one of her issues was she just doesn't have time. She's eating crappy food and processed food, and she doesn't have time to cook. So brainstorming, I just kind of got the ball rolling for her and said, hey, well, you could hire a private chef to make all your food. Think that outside of the box. Like there are no rules. Nobody's looking at this. You have to be generating ideas as crazy as they are. Quit your job so you can stay home and cook. Ask your partner to help you cook. Teach your kids to cook. Whatever is coming to mind. These are just the permission to give your brain to think of all these ideas. So just go crazy, write down everything, anything you could possibly think of, anything that would help you. Let's see. Think about what you've tried before, what worked in the past, what you liked doing, the thing that's been in the back of your mind, well, I could try this. That's the stuff you want to write down. The things you've seen online, any crazy thing, whatever it is, and that will allow you to also generate the ideas that are more realistic. Okay, so that one's easy. That's just your big brain dump, generating all of the ideas. And let's see, so that's outcome, situation, choices. Now we're on number 4, A, actions. So now that's when you look at that crazy list and you pick out a couple of things that you are ready, able, willing, you have the resources, the drive, the commitment to actually work on. So maybe it's 3 or 4 of these. So when you choose those 3 or 4 steps that are actually doable, so not hiring the private chef or quitting your job, but you've figured out a few steps that are going to work for you in your life. And again, this is where we come back to, you're the expert in your life. If I say, well, meal prep on Sundays, but you spend all day volunteering at the church on Sundays, my opinion doesn't matter. My suggestions don't matter. It's got to be the thing that you are able and willing to do. And this is where you get specific. So who, what, when, and where. You, along with whomever else, you are going to do XYZ on this day, at this time, at this location. So these are where you pick that step, you pick that thing that you're going to do. My neighbor has been inviting me to go walking with her in the morning, and 3 days a week, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to join her for her morning walk at 8 a.m., whatever. Or maybe you are going to start walking on your own, or you're going to invite your neighbor to go for a walk, or you're going to go to that yoga class that you've been meaning to try, or you're finally going to, use your gym membership. You're going to go on Mondays and get on the elliptical because, the weather hasn't been great. Whatever. You really get specific about what it is you're going to do. And here you need to work on the positive and not the negative. So it's not, I'm going to stop doing this. That doesn't work. I'm going to stop eating at night. I'm going to stop staying up late. I'm going to stop sleeping in. It needs to be a positive. So you need to say what you are going to do, and you may need to replace something. So if your issue that you're working on, I hear this a lot, is late night snacking. Not late night snacking or not eating after dinner, those words don't even come into play. After dinner, I'm going to go for a walk. After dinner, I'm going to clean the kitchen, brush my teeth, turn the lights out, and tell myself the kitchen is closed. There's lots of techniques you can use, but they need to be positive actions that you can actually do. And also, what did I want to say here? So positive reinforcement, rewards, this is what works best for adults, so not punishment. So instead of saying, if I eat after dinner, I'm going to punish myself by doing, whatever the next day. That doesn't work. It's got to be positive reinforcement or reward. So if I successfully go for a walk every night after dinner for a week, I am going to book a massage this weekend, something like that. Or I'm going to go get a pedicure this weekend, whatever. So your reward, it's got to be something that is rewarding for you. And this is where I would definitely caution against using food as a reward, because that is the opposite of what you're trying to do here. So not using food as a reward. And this gets us into a lot of trouble. I'm sure you know, just the emotional stuff that's all tied up in food. If we're punishing ourselves by denying ourselves food and rewarding ourselves by giving ourselves food, that really makes it hard to have a healthy mindset around food. Because, if we're not eating the junk food, our, primitive mind is perceiving that as we're bad, we're being punished, and that's not what's happening at all. So I would caution you against using food as your reward. Something else that you enjoy doing, going to the movies, watching a movie, reading a book, pedicures, getting a massage, going out to coffee with your friend, FaceTiming your friend, just whatever. Give yourself something that you can really look forward to doing and reward yourself when you have stuck to whatever it is that you committed to doing. So those are your action steps, the who, what, when, and where. Make sure you have a positive reinforcement, a reward in place, committing to those specific steps that you are willing to take. Okay, so we got O.S.C.A.R. Number 5, R is review. So self-monitoring works best, and self-monitoring can be can take any form. Definitely depends on what your goal is that you're working towards. It might be logging your food, logging your exercise, keeping an exercise log, tracking your sleep, your mood, your water intake. Maybe your medication. If you have medication that you're not taking regularly, but you take it when you have a migraine, or when you have heartburn, or maybe it's just you're taking Advil when your knee is hurting. You're logging when you're taking those things. And this can also be before photos. So if you are working on something in your physical body, the scale is one measurement. Before and after photos, or before and during photos, they can be really helpful. I usually suggest those are good like in 3-month increments. Body fat checks I do monthly. Body weight I say check weekly, but you don't want to get really dependent on the scale, really obsessed with what those numbers are. And a lot of times you could start to have changes in your body that aren't registering in the scale, but you can see them in photos. I know for my clients, a lot of times the first place I'll see it is in their face and their neck. Because remember, when it comes to gaining weight and losing weight, the first place that you gain it is going to be the last place that you lose it. So it kind of reverses the process. So if you want to go after belly fat, well, if that's the first place you put it on and then it accumulates everything else, it's like you got to peel it all off first before you get down to the belly fat. So a lot of times the face and the neck are the first place that we start to see those changes. And you can't see it because you're looking at yourself in the mirror every single day. So if you have some photos, just take the straight on picture, the profile picture, you can just take these in a mirror, especially if you have a big full length mirror, you can get somebody to take them for you. And these aren't for sharing, this is just for you. Then you can take those pictures again, same angle, same lighting, same outfit if you have it, and then you can compare and you can really see the difference. So this is part of your review, your self-monitoring. What else did I want to say here? Oh, so for this self-monitoring, it is helpful to have outside accountability here. This is where our check-ins come in on our coaching, our wellness coaching. We do a check-in phone call in 2 weeks. And of course, monthly wellness coaching sessions, you're checking back in on the stuff that you committed to, the steps that you committed to in the previous session. And with that, what I want to say about that is these monitoring techniques, sometimes sharing them with me is helpful. If you are concerned about my reaction when I look at your food log, or when I check your weight or your body fat, then that is going to be an accountability tool for you. But I have certainly worked with clients who, especially with food logs, that I've had access to their food log and I check it, and they're logging things like cookies and soda and candy, and or they don't log for a day, and they tell me, well, I was hungover all day, so I couldn't do it. So me looking at their log was not providing them any additional accountability. They were logging, but they just continued on their same habits. Nothing was happening. So the monitoring and the logging, it needs to be for you. It needs to be, you are looking at that log, you are learning from it, and you are making changes. Just like if I give you macro goals, like if I give you a protein intake goal for the day, and just every day you're consistently not eating it, it's kind of like, what's the point? I'm just reviewing, you're not changing anything. So these tools have to be for your purpose. Yes, I'm going to look in on them and provide some extra accountability, but if you're not making any changes, that defeats the purpose. You're not just writing it down to write it down. So I hope that makes sense. What I also wanted to say about accountability, knowing, I talked about this in the motivation video. So inner accountability, outer accountability. Again, we're really good at being accountable to other people, but that internally we can let ourselves down. So set up those structures that you can have that outer accountability if that's what you need. And it can't be your partner. Your partner is too close to you. Unfortunately, we will sometimes let down ourselves, and we might let down our partner, and our partner may let us off the hook. This is what happened with Robert and I when I was working on studying for my Ayurvedic lifestyle coaching certificate. We had this contest going. He was studying for something else, and we would put money in the jar at the end of the week if we didn't hit our study goals. And he thought he was being nice. He is nice. He's amazing. But he would say, you had a rough week. I know you didn't hit it, so you don't have to put your money in the jar. That wasn't helping me. So sometimes our partners can let us off the hook as well. So they cannot be our accountability buddies. Gretchen Rubin says you should really hire out accountability. And because when you pay attention. That's a saying that I love. But if you've hired me to keep you accountable, hopefully you're taking advantage of that and you are showing up with the things done that you need to get done. So paying for things absolutely makes us more accountable. And that's why we have those structures in place that you need to, you sign up for yoga, you sign up for coaching, you sign up for the semi-private trainings. Especially with the semi-private trainings, those are not drop-ins. You pay for the session, the 6-week, 4-week, 5-week session, whatever we're having, to make sure that you show up, that you're there. That's as much for you as it is for protecting my time. Yoga instructors, we'd love to give yoga away for free, but free classes usually are the ones that nobody shows up for. So we've got to get you to commit, and paying for it is one of the ways to do that. So that is a strategy. What else did I want to say here? Let's see. So review, accountability. Oh, this was a fun fact in my studies. So I'm working on my certification. It's called Behavior Change Specialist through NASM. And one of the things that textbook talked about is the Big 5 personality test. So if you are not familiar with it, you can just search it, but that's the one that tells you, if you're introvert or extrovert, open to new experiences. And these Big 5 personalities, these cannot change. You can change your character traits. There's another list, I forget what it's called. There's a long list of character traits, and you can change those. But your Big 5 personality, they are pretty much set. So for these Big 5 personality traits, so one of them is conscientiousness. Hard to say. Now this, more than the other 4 combined, will predict your health and weight in the future. So if you score low on conscientiousness, so if you're not well organized, if you're too easygoing, if you don't persevere, you are going to have the hardest time maintaining your weight and improving your health. This predictor more than the other 4 combined. So I find that really fascinating. You need more assistance from coaches and trainers, especially when it comes to monitoring and accountability, because you're just too easygoing on yourself. So you need somebody that's going to really hold your feet to the fire. So if you know that test, or you can look that up, the Big 5 personality, or maybe are you super well organized, or are you just too easygoing? You can read about that and maybe have an understanding about yourself, and then choose what's going to help you be most successful. So this is not about changing it yourself. It's about knowing yourself and then using the tools that are best suited for you. Okay, so this review, so you try these steps, you see if it works, and then you go back to step 3, the choices, the brainstorming, if it's not working, and you pick other things to work on. Or maybe you're coming up with new ideas. Maybe you found a roadblock and it gave you an idea for something else. Or maybe there was a step that you were committed to taking, but you realized there were actually 3 steps before that. So you've got to go back and break it down into smaller steps. The smaller the steps, the better. Because that is what's going to build your momentum and get you moving forward. So break it down into the smallest possible steps. Absolutely. Okay, so that was our 5-step method, O.S.C.A.R, outcome, situation, choices, action, and review. You can use these 5 steps to solve any problems. Define the problem. Define the goal. Why is it a problem? Why does this matter in your life? Brainstorm on all possible ideas. Commit to the steps that you're willing to take. Monitor, review, get those accountability structures in place for you. And I just want to give you some bonus tips here on techniques that you can use when you're implementing these actions, these steps that you've committed to. So there are 5 cues to a habit. They are time, location, preceding event, emotion, and other people. So you can use these steps to your benefit to help you change your habits. Number 1 is time. So scheduling something. So time is, okay, maybe at 3 o'clock you always go get that second cup of coffee. So maybe at 3 o'clock you're going to go take a walk around the block. So setting a time to do something. Location. So this can be all about your environment. So one of the strategies you can use is convenient versus inconvenient. and I've talked about all of this before. So inconvenient, stop buying the junk that you don't want to eat, or at least put it up high on a shelf. Don't leave the chips sitting out on the counter. Convenient, buy the vegetables that are already cut. Get a meal planning food delivery service if that helps you. You got to make the things convenient that you want to do and make the things inconvenient that you don't want to do. So finding those ways to control your environment. Location can also have to do with scheduling. So scheduling a time and a place for something. I talk about this a lot. If you're trying to start a home workout routine, the location of your home has too many other things associated with it. It's, doing chores, watching TV, reading, going to sleep. Home doesn't have I forget the word, association with working out. So you have to go somewhere to work out. You have to be in that environment where other people are working out, or go to the yoga class where other people are practicing yoga, because it's too easy to do all the other things at home. Unless you can make that dedicated space, you can have that room that's just for working out or yoga. So location, going to the place. Preceding event. So this is habit stacking or habit pairing. So when I'm waiting for my coffee to brew, I'm going to come in and meditate. So you're always going to make the coffee. That's always a habit. So meditating while the coffee is brewing. When I brush my teeth, I'm going to keep a lacrosse ball in the bathroom. I'm going to lacrosse ball the bottoms of my feet while I'm brushing my teeth. So pairing these things. If you like to watch Netflix or a TV show or something on YouTube, you'll do that while you're on the exercise bike, and only when you're on the exercise bike. So pair something you're already doing or you like to do with the new habit. Preceding event. Okay, emotions. So for emotions, emotional eating, stress eating, maybe it's something like drinking alcohol that, around the holiday seasons you get more stressed out and you're reaching for these coping things like alcohol or eating. You've got to manage your emotions, and that can absolutely happen through meditation, having a regular meditation practice, and just practicing the pause. So noticing if you want to dive into that bag of chips, or you want to, have a drink, or, you want to go sit on the couch and comfort yourself with binge watching TV. Just pause and notice that drive, and then wait 10 seconds. Waiting 10 seconds, pausing 10 seconds can be enough to shift your emotions. And so maybe that's taking, 5 really deep, slow breaths, or 10 deep breaths, counting to 10. So make that little bit of space for yourself, and that can really help shift what's about to happen. And then other people. So the number 5 Q is other people. So knowing that you could be around people who are going to encourage you to do healthy things. You can be around people who are going to encourage you to do unhealthy things, and then making those choices accordingly. And no, there are not, we can't just cut everybody out of our life. But this is where you can really look at if-then planning. Because let's see, especially with the holidays coming, when you get around this family member, they are just gonna, load up your plate. They're gonna give you extra pie. They're gonna, encourage you to drink more, or maybe other unhealthy habits. And you really revert back to those things when you get around people. How about like smoking, like people who smoke only around certain people? I always find that interesting, but there are things that we do, healthy or unhealthy, when we're around these people, and that's a real thing. It's the social contagion. What people are doing around us does affect us. It is a real thing. So planning for that. So another acronym I have for you is W.O.O.P. W-O-O-P. Wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. So you wish to continue with No Drink November, and that is the outcome that you want. You want to not drink over the holidays. The obstacle is going to be you're around your family who drinks a lot, and so what is the plan? And this is where you have to come up with a plan, your if-then planning. And this can work in any situation, works with any of these steps. If I don't food meal prep on Sunday, then I will blank. If I don't go to the gym on Tuesday, then I will blank on Wednesday. So having some if-then plans in place. You have to plan for what could go wrong, And maybe that is the influence of other people, especially as we get into the holiday season. And how about we got, Halloween coming up, Halloween candy. Is there something that you need to be prepared for, and you need to have a backup plan? So see what can go wrong and then make a plan for it. If then planning, WOOP, wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. And the last technique that you can use, rewards and treats. So we talked about rewards not being food-based. So when you complete your whatever task you've laid out for yourself all week, then you're going to go get a pedicure on the weekend. Treats are different from rewards. Gretchen Rubin talks about this. You can look that up, treats versus rewards. I also did a blog post on it. So a treat is something that you don't have to earn, you just get it. So the treat is more of the preemptive, that comes first. You have to do these things so that you have the energy to stick to all of these steps that you planned. One of my clients summed this up beautifully. She said she never gave her kids money for their chores. They had to do chores because they lived there, because they were part of the family. Separate from that, they got allowance. So she didn't pay them to cut the lawn. They got allowance. That was their treat. Unrelated to that, they needed to cut the lawn. That was just their job. So you can think of it the same way. You get these things. You deserve that time to sit down and read for 30 minutes, to have quiet time, to journal, so that you have the energy and the bandwidth to do all these things you committed to do. You don't have to earn everything, but also build in that reward that once you've done the things you've said you were going to do, you get to do that awesome thing that you're looking forward to. All right, so I think that's all I have to share with you today. So if you have a specific problem and you're stuck on one of these steps, send me a private message or email me anytime, alicia@aliciacrosstraining.com, and I will help talk you through the step that you are stuck on. And if you have any questions about anything that you'd like me to cover in a future video, send me a message, post it here in the comments, and I look forward to coming back at you next week and making a great day. Thanks. Bye.